Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Careers Decoded by DSC MEC. Here we interact with professionals working in various fields to learn from and understand their careers. I am Nikita, your host for today. Our guest today is an alumnus of Model Engineering College from the batch of 2020. She is currently working as a product manager at Lead, one of the fastest growing school edtech companies in India. Watch ahead as she offers us a look into her inspiring journey. I am pleased to welcome Ms. Farha Kareem. Hi Farha, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Nikita. That was like an amazing introduction. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Happy to be back here. MEC is like home. It's been like almost 2 years since no, it's more than 2 years, right? Since
Okay,
I graduated. But yeah, it's nice to be back speaking to you. It's fun. Yeah, let's get started.
okay. So let's start with the interview. You are a computer science and engineering student here at MEC, and currently you're working as a product manager at Lead. Could you share some insight with us on the field of product management and your current role in it? Also, do you have any tips for like students who plan to work in the field in the future?
Sure. So you want to know what product management is, right?
Yeah.
So product management basically is a role that involves interacting with multiple other teams. So you would be like owning maybe a feature, maybe a product, the entire product, or maybe multiple products, and maybe a feature that involves development across products, right? So you would be like a mini CEO of the product where you have to interact with the development team, the sales team, marketing team, the customers, all of this. And it is your responsibility that the product reaches its final stage. And basically more people access the product and starts using it, and or maybe it could be a 0 to 1, it could be a 1 to 10 stage, or it could be a 10 to 100 stage. It depends on the stage of the product. So you have to adapt to it and basically make the product a success, right? So your day-to-day life would be like a lot of meetings. So you would be in back-to-back meetings. So like if I'm on a call, it's very funny, okay. But if I'm on a call, the next call would be like 5 minutes later, or it could be even a day where you don't have any meetings at all. But mostly it's rare. But yeah, it's a fun kind of a thing. So at Lead, what I'm doing is I'm basically like in a group. So where our team basically manages development across all the products. So if a feature comes in, we have teacher app, student app, multiple other products, right? So
Hmm.
if a feature has development across all the products, our team takes it up. We have to speak to the individual product managers of these teams, tell them this is the requirement, what you have to build. We find the solution, with appropriate solution that works for individual teams, and then we work with the developers. We work with them, and then once it is like in the finished development stage, we reach out to the sales or the marketing team to know what is the right strategy to actually put this out there, put this out to the users. So this is the entire flow, like, and then we monitor the metrics to understand if this has been a success or not once it reaches the customers. So yeah, this is the whole journey. And what was your last question? It was about how any
You have any tips for students who might want to join the field?
who want to join the field. So I would say if you are a people person and you would love to explore and like interact with people, make things done through people, if you can maintain relationships with people like in a work kind of environment, yeah, you can come into this role. And if you love ownership, so it's more about ownership, right? You're like the owner of the product, you have to make it work somehow. So there would be developers who would say, hey, I don't have time to work on this, I have other things. You have to put them also on the team, and then like make them believe in your product, and then work for it, work towards its success. So yeah, this is basically, if you are a people person, you are more than welcome to this role.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so moving on to our next question. Your previous role at Amazon was in like a different field from your current role as a product manager. What inspired you to make the transition from tech to management?
So actually, I always wanted to get into product. You won't believe me, but I knew I wanted to get into product since my second year of college. So I'll tell you how this happened. This is Google Developers Students Club, right?
Yeah.
So we used to have this DevFest, Google's DevFest event. If you must be aware, right?
Mhm.
So that's when I got introduced to Google's developer community. And there are Google developer advocates. So Flutter will have a Google product management team. They're usually called developer advocates. They come down, they talk with the developers, understand their problems. So basically, Flutter is like a developer product, right? So developers can work on it. So the customers are basically developers. So what developer advocate team does is they speak to the developers, understand their problems, go back to their team, tell them this is how we want to improve the product, and the team builds according to it. So when I spoke to these people, I was like very passionate about this role. I knew this is where I would fit in and I would love exploring this. Like I was not very interested in coding as such. Like I could code, but not very interested. And that's when, like one of our ex-MEC, Meera Matthew, I don't know if you know her. She's like very much senior, like
Mhm.
MEC, the first batch anthem. So first, yeah. So Meera Matthew came in and she was working at Microsoft at that time. Program manager, I think she was a program manager then. Now she's in PepsiCo. But she started speaking about how she got into Microsoft in the program management role, which is kind of similar. Like, I think product management is program management in Microsoft. That is the name of the role. So she started explaining that there is this role called product management. It's a fun role. You have to do all this. You would be like a mini CEO of the role, all of that. So I was like, okay, so it's not just about Google, it could be there in multiple other companies also. And this role is called product management. Okay. And this is what I wanted to do also. So I connected with her. I understood what this is and I spoke to her. I told her this is what I want. So I started kind of getting mentorship from her. And she told me like the best thing is to start as a developer. And also looking I had the like ambition. I used to be like a very ambitious girl like in college. So in case I wanted to like land a job where I could make enough money also. So starting as a product management from a developer, like from after BTech, would be like a little difficult. Otherwise, you should be in like IITs or BITS or some other campuses where they recruit product managers directly there. Here, they would give you like 5 lakh, 10 lakh around that package for product management roles. And if you are a developer, you could get more. And if you make a switch, that would be much more easier, right?
Hmm.
So I thought, okay. And she also told me like it's best to start as a developer because you understand the problems of the developers also. And it would be easier to communicate and you would get respected because like if you go and tell a developer to do this and they know you are a product manager, you don't know our job. But if you start as a developer, they would know, okay, she has been in this field, she knows what she's doing. So that is also there. So it's best to start as a developer. But nowadays it's not like that. If you could start as a developer, you could start as a product manager too, right? So yeah, but this is why I did it. And since like after 2 years, I knew I wanted to get into product management. I tried internally also, but then they told me I have to work for 1 more year or something. So I was like, okay, this is not happening. Let's switch. And that's how I got into product management. It's fun. So far, it's been 10 months here. Yeah, I'm enjoying the role. I love it here.
Yeah, that's great.
So
Okay.
that was my journey. Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
it was like not a switch from tech to management, but I always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like your passion.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So then, Amazon is one of the dream companies of many of the future engineers here at MBC. And you managed to secure a job as a software development engineer right after college.
Right.
Okay, so do you have any tips for people aspiring to join Amazon? Like, how did you crack the interview and how did you get the job?
Got it. So, so this was during my fourth year. I think February in the some year. That was during our art fest time. So,
Hmm.
like 2 weeks before, I got this email saying that I did my online coding test happened. I cleared it. I got an email saying in 2 weeks I'll have an interview. So I had to fly to Bangalore, attend the interview there. Okay, so 2 weeks before I knew this, I was like not prepared at all. Trust me, like I was like zero. Okay, not zero, but I knew basics, but very bad. Upper, what I did was like I knew I had this 2 weeks time. I need to prepare properly. So arts was also coming, and I couldn't be in college. So I was like, okay, let it go. I would take like off or something. So and the I think 2 weeks, half like 1 week completely, I was at home only. I used to sit and code entirely. Like interview bit is one major resource I refer to. Interview bit, Amazon previous interview questions. I think I've spoke about this in my YouTube channel also on my last video. Interview bit, Amazon previous interview questions, as well as Geeks for Geeks uh, topics. So you have operating system, all these concepts, right? So
Yeah.
those notes, last minute notes are there. If you refer that, you would get an idea. Like they would ask questions from that also. During my third interview round or something, there was some OS question, operating system question. Otherwise, this like one of the questions that they asked was from interview bit, Amazon interview questions. So like that, I was lucky. But yeah, it really helped. If you sit for it and like 2 weeks or something would be fine. Like I used to do like 30 questions per day. That was like I was basically not doing anything, just focusing on that aim. And like I got lucky. I cracked the interview. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to our next question. Uh, Product management is usually a field that is predominated by MBA graduates. So, like, how did you adapt to the managerial field after your tech background? Was it difficult? Were
I
there any
would,
challenges?
so it was easy, I would say. The thing is, you need an MBA to get the job. At the job, what you do is a different game altogether.
Okay.
But when you are competing for the job, it's very difficult because there would be MBA graduates, there will be a lot of MBA graduates who are looking for the job, and there are companies who hire only people after an MBA for these kind of roles and with experience, 3 years, 4 years experience. How it happened for me was after like during Amazon, I also worked on my startup called Meet Resume. So there, what I did was I actually worked on the entire product from zero to one kind of a phase. I launched it. I had enough mentors. So it was like a mentorship platform wherein I onboard mentors and students or in early career professionals can come in and set up a meeting with one of our mentors. So this was the platform I built it through. So it was like showing my entrepreneurial journey also through the product. So that helped me, I would say. If I was going directly like with a like Amazon is actually a good brand name, but otherwise, if this was not there, most of my interviews, like I had attended around 5 to 7 interviews before I got into lead. Most of my interviews, they used to ask me questions about Meet Resume rather than about Amazon because they wanted to see the entrepreneurial skills and everything and how much of a man like how much I can manage a product, right? So yeah, so that helped me when that helped me stand out, I would say. Yeah, otherwise at the role, it's like I have a very good team. I would say like my manager is like very nice guy. Like he has like around 10 years of experience in the edtech space. He has actually founded a company and all. He's a ex-founder, and my uh, skip level manager is also very nice person. Like the entire company culture is also good. They're very welcoming, so it's fun to be at work, and it's fun to learn from your people around you, right? So that way it has been a wonderful place, I would say. So yeah,
That's nice.
I hope
Okay.
that answers your question, right?
Yeah, it does. Thanks.
Yeah.
And okay, I have discovered you have a podcast on Spotify,
Yes.
and you have spoken about building a resume. So, how important is a resume in getting a job, and how can we maximize our chance of selection via the resume?
I would say it's very, 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 very important because every role, if you go off campus, the first selection process is resume shortlisting. Wherever you go, if you have a good resume, you stand out there, right? So, your question is how important is it and how can you improve it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, talking about my resume, like, let me just tell you how it generally happens in MEC or any other college, okay? During the third year or fourth year, when you have an internship drive, or maybe your final year interviews, that's when most people start creating their resumes because they have an interview to go, they have an interview to attend, so they start creating their resume. Most of the people would forget half of the things that they've done through the college or even before that. For me, what I did was I used to apply for scholarships. So there they used to ask for resumes, right? So I had this practice of creating my resume like second semester onwards. So whatever happens, I used to come and write it down so I don't miss it out. So when it came to like third year or fourth year, I had like an entire list of things I had written down, and I could just format it. Whatever I want, I could pick it up and like put it in a list. And in our college, they don't let us change our resumes according to companies. But when you go off campus, you can do that. You can pick things like what is relevant to the role, what is relevant to the job description. You can pick that up and you can reframe the sentences and everything. And you can create a resume which is very specific to the particular job role that you're applying to. If you do that, it makes it easier for you to get shortlisted. And most companies, they don't manually do it. Yeah, at Amazon they manually do it. The HR just spends like around 5 to 10 seconds on your resume, less than that actually. Very, it's, they just cross check. If they don't like it, they'll just delete it, right? Or they will just move to the next resume. So it's very important that you highlight the words, highlight the key points, all of that, and then like make yourself stand out through the resume. So it's definitely very important thing. It's the first and major part that you need to concentrate before you even apply or prepare. Start as early as possible, I would say.
Okay, great. Uh, then, like, do you have any advice for the current students of MEC? Like, what are the activities they can engage in now, or the skills they can learn that is gonna help them in the future?
Skills. I won't advise them, but I would say like explore as much as you can. So take part in community events. Like for example, there is Stinger Hub. There is many other communities, right? Google Developer Students Club is another community, Google community. So likewise, take part in community and like speak to multiple people, speak to your seniors or speak to any other people, any other role that you think you would fit in. Speak to people who have already been there, done that, and see what you can take and like understand if that is the right path for you to move on. Basically, explore as much as possible. Like speak to many people. This is the main thing. This is what I used to do in college as well. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, you happen to have a YouTube channel along with a Spotify podcast. So, like, how did you get into content creation? And will you ever be considering it as like a full-time job in the future?
Like content creation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be really happy if I could do that. But otherwise, yeah, this I why I did that was because like again, like it's like about creating a personal brand, right? So wherever you go, if you have a YouTube channel or something, you could like put yourself out there. It's more easier for you to put yourself out there. It's like, okay, let me explain this way. Okay, you are a person, there is another person. How do you differentiate yourself from the other person? You basically put in more characteristics to yourself, right? So YouTube, my Spotify podcast, all of this was part of that. Also, like I started Spotify when ആ കോവിഡിന്റെ സമയത്ത് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നല്ലോ, ഒരു പണി ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. ആ സമയത്താണ് ഐ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ദ സ്പോട്ടിഫൈ പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ്. സോ when you have free time, I like exploring such things. Yeah, otherwise I'm thinking of like getting into YouTube with product, like making more videos on YouTube about product management. But yeah, I am still thinking about it. But yeah, I'll probably start doing like I'm thinking of putting out a video maybe by next month or something, and then ഇപ്പൊ ഇട്ടിട്ട് തന്നെ കുറെ കാലായി thinking of getting back at it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Um, from your technical and managerial expertise to content creation, you are like a master of many arts. So, how do you effectively manage your time to learn and explore so many different skills?
I wouldn't say I'm a master of many. I would say I just explored multiple places. I'm not master of many. So you're asking about how I manage my time.
Yeah.
I am very bad at it, I would say. Look at my YouTube channel. It's the last video I put in was like last year. There is no more videos yet. But it's like if you love doing something, you can do it. I haven't pushed myself to do something, right? So it's like all the videos that have come on my channel is because I really wanted to put it out. It's like that motivates me, not like, okay, I have put this time, ഈ സമയത്തിനുള്ളിൽ എനിക്ക് ചെയ്തെടുക്കണം അങ്ങനെയില്ല. If I want to do something, I'll just put my mind to it and I'll just get it done. If I want to get put that video next month, I would be like, okay, this is what I want to do. Prepare it, prepare the content, shoot the video, edit it. All might be on the same day. I'll put it out. Like, don't force yourself. It's like if you want to do something, just go ahead and do it.
Okay. Then finally, our last question.
Okay.
What are your takeaways from MEC and how has MEC influenced the person that you are now?
MEC. Okay. So MEC has given me like a place. The best thing is that it's in Kochi. One of the best factors is that it's in Kochi. It's like you could explore multiple other avenues also. So Tinker Hub is there, many other communities are there. You could meet a lot of people. So during my college days, I used to be connected with like that's when I started connecting with Sajo, Arya. All of them were in Kochi, right? So that has opened my eyes towards multiple other avenues. So MEC being in Kochi has been a really great place to be, and you have amazing seniors here. So Kartika Baiju, Meera Matthew, all of these people have actually inspired me, right? So if you have, it's like all the opportunities or your ambition will shape when you see people who you relate to have achieved these things. So when Kartika Baiju got into Microsoft, that's when I realized, okay, ഇവിടെയുള്ള പിള്ളേർക്കൊക്കെ മൈക്രോസോഫ്റ്റിൽ എത്താൻ പറ്റും. She got into Microsoft during her fourth year. She was like 3 years or 2 years senior to me. 2018, yeah, 2 years senior to me. She got into Microsoft. That's when I, okay, ഇത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ആ ഒരു ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും എന്ന് കിട്ടിയ സംഭവം MEC എന്നാണ്. So that's the biggest takeaway from MEC.
Okay, that's great. So we have come to the end of our interview. Thank you on behalf of all of us here at DSC MEC for taking time out of your busy schedule for
Thank you.
joining us here
Thank
today.
you so much for inviting me. It has been great. Like I really enjoyed it.
That's nice. And I'm sure the knowledge that you have imparted with us today will motivate and guide many of the students of MEC while they are pursuing their careers. Thank you.
Please, also one thing I have to say is like I'm reachable anytime. Like if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on my Instagram page or like anywhere on LinkedIn or anywhere. You can just reach out to me. I'm almost always available. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks.